Welcome, welcome. We are live. Hello, everybody. How we doing on this Wednesday? Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see, make sure I turned off mute and everything. All right, I think we're good to go. Welcome. Hope you guys are doing well. Feel like it's been a while. We didn't live stream last week, so definitely overdue and happy to be here and be with you guys once again. If you're new here, my name is Shane. We talk all about smart home stuff here on this channel, so that's what we're going to do during the live stream. We'll talk for the next hour or so, and you guys can ask questions. We'll talk about any new stuff in the news and things like that. So, let's say hi to some folks, and we'll kind of get this thing rolling. I see a lot of channel members too. Also, I will go ahead and say this is the first Wednesday of the month. So if you are a channel member, be sure to head over to Discord after the stream. We're going to do our monthly member video chat, basically a Zoom chat in Discord. So that's always a lot of fun. Again, that'll be in Discord, in our Discord server for channel members. Let's say hi to some folks real quick. Frederick, how you doing, Frederick? And also, Torin, I see, became a member. Oh, there we go. Welcome as a channel member. Let's see who we got here. Happy birthday to Baba is trolling. Where did that message go? Tomorrow is your 18th birthday. Awesome. Let's see. Hold on. Do we have a button for that? There we go. Happy early birthday. Glad you could be here and hang out with us today. Mike Evans from South Carolina. All right, upstate South Carolina. Welcome. So good to have a fellow South Carolinian around. George Silverhammer Surveillance. What's going on, George? And sending some birthday wishes there to Baba is trolling. Dan Zimmerly is here. What's up, Dan? Eric W. from the Netherlands. Awesome. So good to see you guys here. A lot of channel members in the chat. Awesome. So Sigmund Judge, what's up? How you doing? Sigma says, glad you're okay. Family as well. Much love. Thank you. So you guys may have noticed this. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen, I've talked about it a little bit on Instagram. Last week or two has been kind of a doozy. Long story short, I'll get into this real quick, I guess, because I'm a little bit slower than usual right now. But the family and I, so basically my wife and my daughter and myself were in the truck. We got into a car accident on, it was last Saturday. We drove about an hour and a half away for a cheer competition. My daughter does competitive cheer. On the way back, pretty bad car accident actually. We were in my truck. Wasn't our fault. A couple of cars ahead of us lost control for whatever reason. Long story short, accident going at very high speeds. Super thankful that nobody was hurt too badly. This is the worst of it. My wife, there's some soreness and some pain, but I suffered a dislocated thumb. So my thumb was like popped out and really painful that was. So we're not up here, but actually like way down here popped out. That hurt pretty bad. And I broke my wrist. So wearing this, my hand's like all black and blue and kind of looks crazy right now underneath this. But all things considered, glad that's about the worst of it. I've got some MRIs scheduled also. So there will be more. It's kind of been a process last few days or this week for that. But yeah, just glad nobody was hurt too badly. The other cars involved didn't seem to be hurt either. Again, I think I kind of got the worst of it, which is okay. I'll take it. So yeah, definitely scary. Thank you, Jessica. Poke McMaster. Thank you guys all for the well wishes too. There was a lot of that over on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, definitely hit me up over there. I share a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff, stuff like that, and also smart home stuff too, a lot over there. So we talked about it some over there. But yeah, it was, not the best way to end my Saturday. But again, super grateful that it wasn't worse than it was. So let's see, best wishes. Thank you guys. Larry Thomas, what's going on, Larry? Glad to hear you and the family are okay. There were easier ways to get CarPlay than having to buy another truck. I know, I know. I actually was talking with somebody, so that's kind of been a running joke, sort of, in our member Discord video chats that we do every month. I was just talking about that. So there's another one today after this live stream. We'll be doing that. But kind of a running joke is me not having CarPlay in my truck. I've been wanting it, been looking at different options on getting that. I actually have just been talking with somebody about some options to get like a potentially third party system in there. I really didn't want to go like a third party CarPlay for my truck, but I was actually in the process of considering that and looking into some options, and then this happened. So yeah, the truck is totaled too, by the way. Just found that out. So it looks like there will be a new vehicle somewhere in my future, and yeah. Pokemon says, on the bright side, bring on CarPlay. Yeah, there you go. We'll definitely have to get some. What do you think you will get? I don't know what I'll get yet. Well, I'm a truck guy. I've gotten used to having a truck, and it will be hard to go back. So, yeah, most likely a truck, and I will be looking for CarPlay for sure. Get a Toyota Tundra. I got one. Love it. Has CarPlay. Yeah, that's a good option. Those things are pretty expensive too, though. But yeah, I'll be looking. Interest rates are so bad right now. Oh God, I really didn't want to have to get a new truck right now. But what are you gonna do? Lone Star Trent, I assume it was the other driver's fault. Yeah, we were not at fault. So it was. I didn't have many options in the matter. It was, again, just glad this is the worst of it, so it seems. So again, we got some MRIs. I think I saw, let's see, Silverhammer Surveillance, George. I think I saw you got some MRIs scheduled in the next couple weeks too. And we got a little thumbs up. So that works on here now. Cool, I didn't even realize that. Let's see. Don't get Chevrolet, as I hear they're trying to get rid of CarPlay. I heard the same thing about... I think I heard the same thing about Dodge and Rams, I want to say. Maybe it was Chevrolet. I'll have to do my research. It's been a little while. A lot of them are trying to, get into it's definitely a market they're trying to tap into, subscriptions and stuff like that. So I I've heard that a few. It's a Mac. The thumbs up is an iOS thing now. A Mac and iOS thing now. Okay, yeah, that's right. It did look exactly the same. Okay, that makes sense. It looked the exact same on FaceTime and stuff. So yeah, that makes sense. I was doing some FaceTime the other day over the Apple TV, which is amazing, by the way. If you haven't done FaceTime on the Apple TV yet, you gotta try it out. It works so well. It's pretty impressive. We got a super chat. Thank you, Kevin, for the super chat. I will say too, guys, today is going to be, let's see, we got a good number of people here, but today's going to be a great day, I think, to ask questions. So if you have a question, oh man, I told you, it's been a long week. Bear with me. Just preface your question or your comment with the word question. I'll do my best to get to all the questions that I can, like I said, but just ask your question once and I'll try to get to them. Or you can always hit up a super chat like Kevin did. I'll definitely see those. So thank you, Kevin, for the super chat. Let me bring that back up. How is your experience with Homey Pro so far? I've been thinking of getting one. Well, Kevin, I'm assuming you saw the video. If not, definitely go check out the video that I did on that. Well, it was a couple weeks ago. I will say that I really love the experience with Homey Pro. I almost said HomeKey for some reason. But yeah, Homey Pro is fantastic. So basically my opinions and thoughts from that video still hold true today. I really love it. There are a few integrations that are missing. So it's probably a little bit more difficult if you already have just a really robust smart home like I do. I mean, I've got so many smart home devices. You may have trouble getting certain things to connect over there, if the integration isn't already there. I think if you're just starting new or you're a little bit earlier in your journey on smart home, then Homey Pro is a great way forward. That way you can kind of just make sure you get stuff that will integrate with Homey Pro, but it does have a ton of integrations. There's just some things, like certain Wi-Fi devices specifically. I've found some of the Wi-Fi devices that I've been using for years may not integrate, but other than that, it's fantastic. The automations are insane. Love the automation capabilities. The interface is great. So again, pretty much everything I said in that video holds true today. So yeah, I've had a good experience with that so far. Let me change this real quick to live chat so I can kind of try my best to keep up with you guys. Turin says, Car Pro Ride is working well for you. Awesome. That's good to hear. I've heard some people using that, so that's good to hear. When using your iPhone 11 for FaceTime via Apple TV, your battery gets drained. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I haven't used it a ton, but yeah, that makes sense. Do you have any Govee lights set up through Homebridge? I do, Dan. So I have my permanent outdoor lights. So the first version that, before Matter came. So I have those all around the top of my house, the roof line. And then I have, actually, if you can see that blue light bar back there, that's a corner light. That's one of the Govee floor lamps. That's integrated through Homebridge. And I also have some permanent outdoor, not permanent outdoor, the outdoor floodlight. So I did a video, actually, if you search on my channel for like maybe outdoor lights or just search for outdoor, you should be able to find the Govee video. And I did the permanent outdoor lights and the floodlights. Of course, now they have the permanent outdoor lights Pro that support Matter, which hopefully I'll be able to make some video or some content on that soon as well. Excuse me. How important is Homebridge to you? I mean, I only use Homebridge pretty sparingly, I'll say, but so I don't use it for a ton of things. Like I could still carry on and operate my house probably without Homebridge, but I really do like it. So it's great to have, but I can probably get by without it if I absolutely had to. So there are some integrations, again, like the Govee stuff like that, that I utilize, and it's just really good to have, but again, I use it sparingly, so. Sigmund Judge, all right, welcome as a member. Awesome, hopefully we'll see you over in that member, in the member Discord server and chat later on today. Oh, I will say too, let me share this. So this is, I guess, I don't know if anybody's experienced this yet today, or not today, but yet experienced this so far, but in the accident, we were just talking about the truck accident. We were going, speed limit was, I think 70 miles an hour on that interstate. So we were going pretty fast. When the accident happened, the crash detection on the Apple Watch worked beautifully. So that was pretty cool to see. Obviously, I don't recommend getting in a car accident to test it out, but it worked beautifully. So crash happened. I kind of made sure everybody was okay in the truck. Realized my hand was broken pretty bad, or at least it appeared to be broken, dislocated, and it looked jacked up and was hurting pretty bad. So crash detection went off on my Apple Watch. I heard the siren, and then by now my wife had already started calling emergency services. So she was on the phone with them or getting them on the phone, and then I heard the countdown, and then I couldn't control the watch because my hand was so messed up in the accident. So it just kept going, and then it automatically connected me to emergency services and everything through the watch. So that's pretty impressive. Really great feature on that, and some of the newer iPhones. I highly recommend it. I just was thinking, if you were all alone in a car accident, or especially if you have kids or whatever, you're knocked unconscious. Most of us use MagSafe now, so your phone, who knows where your phone ends up in a car accident. So having something like that on your watch or your phone, just such a great feature, man. It was really, really nice to see that. Yeah, Sigmund, I know. I saw that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think you might have been gifted one of the memberships in one of the past streams. So maybe that's why it didn't renew. I think when you get gifted a membership, it's just for a month. Maybe that's it. I could be wrong. But yeah, so glad to have you, and thank you so much for the support. And that goes for all of the channel members. Sigmund says and Sigmund Judge, by the way, has a podcast on all things Apple TV. So that is the man when it comes to Apple TV. He says FaceTime battery drain. Check the. I'm not even going to try to say that MagSafe TV mount. It comes with an extra magnetic ring that can be installed on a MagSafe charger. That way you have unlimited charge. Awesome. That is a great tip if you want to use FaceTime on the Apple TV a lot. Thank you for sharing that. Good stuff. Let me go back. I know I missed some questions. Bear with me. I'll try to get to everybody today. Let's see. What is your experience with the Aqara temperature sensors? Are they responding fast? Let's see, we'll get the thumbs up. I like the Aqara temperature sensors. I don't really utilize them a lot for automations because I really more or less use the Ecobee sensors for temperature just because they work with my Ecobee thermostats. But from what I've seen and used, they work well. Yeah, they work. All the Aqara stuff works great for me. Let's see. Question. Hey, Shane. Bob says, love the stuff you do. I was wondering if you have any plans to review the Ecobee Smart Security, especially since they recently released their doorbell for Ecobee Premium. Well, Bob, I appreciate the question. I'm curious to see what you guys think. If I hear, from you guys that want a review on this, I'll consider it. Excuse me. At this point, I'm really not planning on it. A big thing for me, we talked about this, about 2 weeks ago when this first came out, especially the Ecobee doorbell, when that first came out. Or no, was it the doorbell? I think it was the doorbell. Anyways, the big thing for me is the fact that it doesn't support HomeKit secure video, and they're really trying to get you to buy into their subscription service. I'm just not a fan of that. That's not to say I don't think it's, I think it's probably a great service, probably great products. I love the Ecobee thermostats and temperature sensors. Like I said, I use those. I'm just not a big fan of having to buy into other subscription services when I already pay for iCloud and stuff. So, for that reason, I'm not a huge fan of that, but like I said, let me know what you guys think. If you want to see more on that, maybe we'll do it. I think it would be probably a good system or product to buy into if you wanted to go like all in on the Ecobee stuff. There's probably nothing wrong with that. But for those of us who already have like a lot of smart home stuff and sensors and everything's built in, it probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, So I don't know. That's kind of my 2 cents on that. So at this point, I guess a long way to answer that is I'm not planning on reviewing it at this point, but that could change. Let's see. Question. I have an automation that needs approval to run, but it sends the notification to either my wife and son, which are part of the family members in the home app. How can I change that priority? That's interesting. I'm not sure why that would happen, why it sends to your wife and son. So, is it I guess it depends maybe on the automation and what your trigger is. I'm not really sure, Robert, the answer to this off the top of my head. Let me see. I'm trying to jump in my chat's doing something kind of weird today, so bear with me. But yeah, it depends maybe if you're using like location. I don't really have any of these automations that require an authentication. So I don't know, but maybe if it's based on location, if it's when they leave the house, maybe that has something to do with it, but I'm not really sure. Let's see. I saw some people asking questions. Did you see the Apple event? I did see the Apple event, of course. I had to watch that, John. We were watching over in our member Discord server. We have a little Apple Watch party we kind of do every time over there. Of course, it was a short-lived event. Some new Mac computers. Always nice to see, but nothing, that's, nothing super exciting, I guess you could say. Yeah, we had a chat during the live stream. That's right. Let's see. All right, let me get back. I'm gonna try to get to everybody's questions. So I'm gonna kind of go back and forth here in the chat a little bit. So, and of course, the highlight thing that YouTube used to do, it's not working for me for some reason. Okay. Question. Are the Ecobee room sensors useful outside of the native app? They claim to have a presence sensor in them. So are those usable as a motion sensor in HomeKit, and do they connect via Wi-Fi? Good question. I'm not, they don't connect via Wi-Fi. I'm not actually 100% sure. Does anybody know how the Ecobee sensor, that's a good question. I have a bunch of them. I'm not sure how they connect to the Ecobee. They connect, I guess, directly to the Ecobee thermostats. Huh. What is with that? The balloons. I mean, I did not even do. What is that? That's this, right? The balloons. I don't know. We're getting some weird stuff going on in the stream here today. I don't think it's Thread. No, they connect via Bluetooth to the thermostat. Thank you, Brian. That's kind of what I was thinking. Thank you for confirming that. So, but Keenan, to answer your question, I find them useful as temperature and humidity sensors outside of the native app. So in HomeKit, I find they are useful as temperature and humidity sensors. However, I don't find them very useful as motion sensors or occupancy sensors. So as you know, they do get exposed in that sense to HomeKit, but they're just not like the most responsive motion sensors. So I tend to use other sensors for motion. I will use those for my temperature and humidity though. So I hope that helps and makes sense. Lone Star Trent says, I use one to turn on my bathroom lights. Brian says they are slow as occupant sensors and they work the same way as hacking a PIR motion sensor. Thanks, Brian. So yeah, it's really a true occupancy sensor, and most of them aren't in HomeKit, to be honest, either. So yeah, I think it depends on your automation. If you don't need like really fast response, then they would probably be fine. But if you need something that's like really responsive and fast, probably not the best option for motion. All right, back to the questions. Let's see. Eric says, I got rid of my IKEA hub and a car M2 hub since switching to Homey. Very cool. Okay, love the flows. Yeah, the automations are awesome in Homey Pro. Good. Glad to hear you're enjoying that. Matt, what's going on, Matt? Matt says, I have the Nanoleaf Essentials thread bulbs and lately have had issues with them staying connected. Resetting them didn't help, nor did restarting the network. Erie Pro, suggestions to fix these. Matt, I know a lot of people who have had issues with, golly, this chat is acting up on me today, guys. Sorry, bear with me. Let's see. I know Brian. I think Brian, you had a lot of issues also with the Nanoleaf bulbs. I don't use a lot of Nanoleaf bulbs personally. Nanoleaf has been really up and down for me when it comes to the thread connection. I had a lot of issues with my thread network recently. Rebuilt my whole HomeKit setup mainly because of my thread network was messed up. It wasn't just Nanoleaf though, it was my whole thread network. So yeah, I don't know if anybody has any suggestions. You said, I mean, just all I can say really just in a kind of quick setting like this is make sure you have IPv6 turned on your router. Turn off certain features like QoS on your router. And gosh, I'm trying to think of anything else. Brian says Nanoleaf has great products, but reliability and support leaves a lot to be desired. Turin says I had issues with Nanoleaf bulbs and had to maybe get a HomePod Mini to fix it. So yeah, maybe distance or range of your thread bulbs could be a factor. George, I despise Nanoleaf bulbs. Wow, that's a strong word, George. Again, I don't use a lot of smart bulbs in general, so I do have one or two of their new Matter light strips that I'm using. I actually have one on right now on the desk that you cannot see. Mike, ditto on the ads. What's going on with the ads, y'all? Let me know What's up with that? I see I missed the first comment. So Mike, let me know what you guys, what's going on with the ads. It might be, is YouTube like placing some random ads or something in here? Let's see. So some suggestions here. Vito D say, yeah, I got an ad. Okay, so that must be, I think there was a new setting that getting ads in the live stream. Okay, I'll check that. I'll make sure that is turned off in the next stream. So I'm sorry about that. I saw there was some setting and that must be what that did. Yeah, if you have premium, you won't have ads. So YouTube premium, you won't get any ads. I have YouTube premium also now. So there you go. Thank you. I agree, Michael. I can't argue with that. Thank you for the super chat too. I forgot earlier we have a super chat button just for moments like this. Super chat. Actually, that's a member chat. Sorry, not a super chat, a member chat. So thank you, Michael, for being a member for 14 months. So I appreciate that support so much. And Michael says, YouTube Premium removes the ads. Best investment I ever made. Yeah, I can't argue with this. I actually did not have YouTube Premium for a long time. And I'd make YouTube videos. So I'm always like on YouTube, even if it's just looking at my own videos to reference something or whatever it was. And I'm like, man, I am on YouTube all the time and dealing with these ads. And I finally, usually you just skip them. And finally, I did it. And I agree with you. It was a good investment. So you won't see the ads if you're on premium. But what I'll do in the future, I'll make sure those ads are off for the live stream. And then, maybe they'll be turned on for like the replays or something. But at least during the live stream, I'll make sure they're off in the future. So I want you guys to have a good experience here during these live streams. So sorry about that. And says I could never go back to YouTube standard. Yeah, I don't think I could either. I haven't even thought about it. One subscription I don't mind paying. Although I do think YouTube, if you're listening, which I doubt it, but why don't creators get YouTube Premium built in? I feel like we should get YouTube Premium. I don't know. Maybe somebody here in the chat agrees with me. Some creators in the chat might agree with that. Randall says YouTube Premium is as important to me as Apple Premium. Yeah, I get that too. And I've gotten to where now when I sit down, like I don't watch a lot of TV these days, but if I sit down, maybe during lunch or something, I just want to put something on the TV, I'm opening up YouTube every time I sit down at the TV, So Michael says, oh man, thank you, Michael, coming in with the super chat on top of the member chat. Correction, Shane Whatley YouTube super membership chat was the best investment I ever made. Thank you so much for that, Michael. Much appreciated. So glad to have you and the support from you and all the channel members. Hope to see you over in the member Discord later. Chuck says the same thing. Best investment I ever made about 2 years ago was to join this channel. It has added more value to my HomeKit home than any other subscription I've made. Oh man, that really means a lot. Thank you so much, Chuck. I appreciate that. Chuck has been a member for quite a while. That really does mean a lot. Thank you. Question, what is your favorite smart device? Actually, Anna, there is a video. It's hard for me to pick just one. I don't know if I can do that. But I think linked down in the video description of this live stream, there's a link to a past video just from a couple weeks ago. If you haven't seen this, I went through basically every product category because I kind of get asked this question a lot. What's your favorite this or your favorite that? So it's hard for me to pick just one device, but I did in that video, I picked my favorite devices for every category. So I picked my favorite, doorbell camera, my favorite thermostats, my favorite every major category. So, but let's see, if I had to pick one, I don't know if I could pick just one. I mean, it might have to be like Apple TV or maybe HomePod. HomePods, yeah, I'm not gonna go with HomePods. They've been kind of giving me some issues lately. Maybe my Apple TV. I guess that would be considered. I don't know if you consider that a smart device. But other than that, let's see, maybe my Schlage smart lock. I love Apple HomeKey on the lock. So that might that would take the favorite spot. I see a lot of comments here, guys. Let's see. Do you think iRobot will have Matter? I don't know. I have no idea who's going to roll out support for that. And we don't even know yet if or when Apple is going to start. Apple is going to have to support the product category as well. So we're waiting on Apple for these new device categories, and we're waiting on the product manufacturer. So I should say I do have a let's see. Article pulled up. This is over at HomeKitNews.com, good site for all things HomeKit. But I like the way he put this together here. So if you don't know, I guess it was about a week or so ago, Matter 1.2 was released, and they did announce these new product categories. All right, so these are all coming to Matter. They're officially supported with the Matter 1.2 update. That includes, yes, you guessed it, robot vacuums right there. Again, we have to wait for Apple to support this and the product manufacturers to roll out support to these, like Roomba or Roborock or whoever. So I don't know if or I assume it'll happen, but I don't know when and I don't know who. Let's see. Travis also says, love the Schlage Encode Plus. And Eric says, Apple TV is great. Sigmund says, I like it. All right, let me see. All right, I'm going to get to some of these questions. Oh, man. Don, I just saw the member chat. Member for 17 months. Another channel member for a long time. Thank you, Don, for the continued support. It says, better late than never. Just got out of a lunch appointment. Well, I'm glad you could join us. Again, channel members, this afternoon, well, after this live stream, we'll be doing our member video chat. So hope to see you guys over there. All right, let me get back up here. I know you guys left some questions. I appreciate your patience. I'm going to try to get to as many as I can. Let's see. Question, are there any smart bulbs that work with smart switches? If you have both, how do you label them? So the bulbs, not so much. The switch you would have to look for. So, I mean, there are some switches that you can turn into basically a wireless switch. I know Akara, I think, has that option where you can basically turn it into a wireless switch and control it through automations and stuff. So that would probably work. And there's some other switches. I think LifeX has one. But generally, as a rule of thumb, I don't do this. For the most part, I don't use smart bulbs with switches. I usually just use one or the other. So, oh man, I see we got a super chat. Thank you so much for the $25 super chat. Thank you so much, Chuck. Where's my button? Much appreciated. Also a longtime member. Chuck says, love the channel and will continue to support as the value of just the Discord channels is the cheapest tuition you can get for everything Apple Home. Thank you so much. I'm glad the Discord server and the membership has been of value to you, and I really do appreciate the continued support and the super chat. Thank you very much, Chuck, for that. Okay, let's see. Question, do you know any small desk lamps compatible with Apple Home or Matter? Yeah, there are quite a few of them, actually. Let's see. Let's pull up Amazon. Let's just go look for some. Let's see. HomeKit. I know Maris has a few of these. Let's see. VocalLink has one. Let's see. Does this one support Apple Home? So there's these types right here. What is all this? Pop-ups. So this is a Maris. This is a desk lamp. I use one of these, not this brand, but one that looked just like this. It's probably a Qi charger down there, I'm assuming. But that supports Apple HomeKit over Wi-Fi, most likely. So Maris has some. VocalLink has some. These are all kind of similar. You can find these types as well. I'm trying to think. Didn't Nanoleaf just announce? Oh yeah, there's the Philips Hue. So something like this, maybe. Kind of depends on the style and look that you're going for. So there's definitely some options out there. Just kind of do a search for HomeKit, you know, desk lamp or something like that. And I think, like I said, I think Nanoleaf just released a few new ones. Dan says, I have one just like that Maris desk lamp. There isn't a Qi charger on it. Oh, okay. Thanks, Dan. So that one does not have a Qi charger on it. So I had one. God, what was the name brand of that? It was years ago. But anyways, yeah, I'm not using that one anymore. Some of them will have a Qi charger on the base, which you may or may not care about. But Dan has the Maris one. How do you like that one, Dan? Has it worked well for you? The Maris one? And another option too is just a smart bulb. So that might be a good case for using a smart bulb, where you know you can just get any old lamp if maybe you have a particular look or design that you're kind of going for. Oh, another one that I used actually. Oh, here it is right here actually. This one, the Yeelight table lamp. So this one is this the one with HomeKit? Yeah, this one, I actually like this one. I did a video on this years ago too. This is another one. This does have a Qi charger on it. Has a cool little look. I actually have the taller floor lamp version of this one as well. I'm not really using this one because I don't have space for it, but I still have it. It's in a closet right now, but that's a cool, I just kind of like the look of that one. Pretty cool little design. Just depends on what look you're going for, I guess. Dan says the Maris one works pretty well. Randall says, I'm all Hue. Yeah, I forget sometimes Philips Hue makes some of those things. Lone Star Trent, member for 15 months. If there is a lot of snow this year, you think your lawnmower might get a snowballed option? Keep up the good stuff. Thank you so much, Lone Star Trent, for supporting the channel for so long. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a lot of snow this year. I live in South Carolina, and we don't get much snow around here. It's pretty rare. Although it has been extreme. It was one of the coldest Halloweens I think I remember. John says, how was your Halloween? So it was good. I used to do a lot more crazy stuff for Halloween. I would turn my whole garage into like a haunted house with a walkthrough and scare kids. It was a lot of fun. Kids got involved and stuff. We've kind of tamed back a little bit on that this year, the last couple of years. But it was good. It's actually a lot colder, like I said, than the past few years. But all in all, it was good. It was nice, relaxing. Frederick says, I use smart bulbs in my desk lamps. Yep, that's a good way to go. I have one of those. Actually, one of the few places I do have a smart bulb is in, it's a floor lamp, but it's next to my wife's desk. So yeah, I am using one like that as well. All right. All right, questions. I know there's some questions up here, guys. Question, Gordon says, are you going to CES 2024? I am an Apple developer designing AI and live in Las Vegas. Very cool. Wow. I am going to CES 24. I have already registered, and I'm super excited to go this year. Maybe the shirt sparked that comment there. Let me move this so you can see the shirt. Yes, this was the first year that I went. Absolutely loved it. Getting to meet all the vendors and all the brands that are making HomeKit products, and maybe even more so is meeting other content creators and people from the media and stuff who cover smart home. That was so much fun, and definitely look forward to going again. Reach out to me, let me know you're there. Would love to meet up with anybody who's going to be around at CES this year. So I think I'm going to be able. I'm trying to drag the wife with me this year. I think she's gonna come as well. If we can make it work. Question, I still have not updated the architecture. Any issues? No. Well, I don't know. I made a video a couple weeks ago, maybe 3, 4 weeks ago, where I started completely over with my smart home setup and I just rebuilt from scratch because of issues. Feel free to watch that if you haven't already. But those issues were not related to the architecture. I was having issues with my thread network, which again, were not related to the architecture. I updated my architecture right when it first came out, even before they kind of recalled it. So, and I guess I was one of the lucky ones. I've not had any issues with mine. Mine is still going strong. And since I rebuilt everything, everything's working really well right now. So, fingers crossed that continues. Michael says, "What inexpensive bridges can I use to add my Nest Ring device to HomeKit? Thanks for your wealth of knowledge." Thank you, Michael. So I don't know the price, but look into the Starling Home Hub. I don't think it's that expensive, although this only works for Nest. So sorry, you said Nest and Ring devices. Your best bet's probably going to be HomeBridge for that. If you want to bring Nest and Ring into HomeKit. Now you can go with something like Hoobs, which is kind of the easier plug and play option, but if you're looking for inexpensive, you're probably going to want to go with HomeBridge and go down that route. There's ways to do it that's a little bit more affordable. So definitely look into HomeBridge. I think that's probably the best way to get both of those. Now if you're just doing Nest, I would look at the Starling Home Hub, but that's not going to bring your Ring stuff into HomeKit. So hope that helps. Let's see. Jeff from Michigan, what's going on, Jeff? Just saw your comment. Hope you're having a good week so far. Do you use? I do not use Sonos. I'm actually working again. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen some of this because I share a lot of the behind the scenes stuff over there in my stories. But I've been working on a back porch, and I want to do just a really cool smart backyard area. That's been my big project here lately, and I've been sharing some of that process over on Instagram in my stories. You can just Shane Creates. You can find me. Should be a link in the description too if you want to check that out. But yeah, I'm actually thinking about maybe one of the Sonos, like the outdoor Sonos one, the one that's like waterproof and everything for out there. I don't know. I haven't made any decisions though, but I'd like something out there, maybe portable. But I have not used Sonos, and for music in my house, I'm just using HomePods everywhere. They've been kind of flaky on me lately. I'm not gonna lie. Like just for music, listening to music. Since the last update, 17.1, I think we're at now, it seemed to have gotten better just recently. But yeah, I'm using HomePods pretty much in every room in my house. Jeff says, I got in a bad car accident back in May at work. Same thing. Apple Watch called emergency services for me and my wife. Had a cast for 6 weeks, right-handed, so things were difficult. Long summer. Wow. Well, I'm glad you're okay, Jeff. And again, another story there for the Apple Watch and that crash detection. Yeah, what an amazing feature. Yeah, same thing here, man. I'm really surprised with the broken wrist that they didn't want to put me in a full cast as well. I thought for sure that was going to happen. So I'm definitely grateful to be wearing this and not have to go with the full cast, at least at this point. So hopefully that'll continue. But yeah, it definitely makes things really hard being this is my dominant hand as well. I really can't use it for anything, even though my fingers and stuff are all out because it hurts so bad right now. Which I don't know. I don't know if it's because of the break or because of the dislocation and all the damage, the trauma, I guess, to my hand. So maybe that'll get better. I hope soon. But yeah, I can't really use it for anything because it freaking hurts. So, but I'm glad you were okay. You and the wife seems like we're okay. But yeah, what a great feature that is, that crash detection. Question, any idea who manufactures Twinkly's pre-lit trees? Are they good quality or do they look pretty artificial? Good question, Brian. This is going to be 100% subjective. I don't know who manufactures them to answer that question, or to not answer that question, I guess. Are they good quality or do they look artificial? Quality, I feel like you got to kind of touch and feel to really determine quality. I have not done that. As far as the looks go, again, that is subjective. When we were shopping for a new Christmas tree, I will say this, about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, we were looking for a new artificial tree. And I loved the twinkly stuff. I really, really wanted one that was pre-lit so I could have all my smart lighting on there without having to, string it up and everything. I'll just say this. My wife is very picky about trees. All the pre-lit twinkly trees did not pass the spouse approval test for her. Just as far as looks go from, we looked at some in person and then we looked at a bunch of them online. And for her, they didn't pass the test. So I ended up just getting I think it's called a King Christmas. So we got a really big one. God, how tall is that thing? 9 feet, might be even bigger than that. I don't know. It's a big old Christmas tree because we got high ceilings. It's not pre-lit, so there's no lights on it at all. So I have to string it up every year. So that was how we went about it. So I don't know if that helps. Let's see. Question, are there any specific TV brands that work best with Apple Home? Well, I can say LG, as far as HomeKit, there's a few that support HomeKit. Samsung doesn't usually. I think they do have Matter integration in some of theirs, but just for HomeKit, LG, Vizio, there's probably some other ones. For me, I've used LG and Vizio. The Vizio integration, actually it's an old, like probably a 2016 TV. That HomeKit integration on my old Vizio is better than the LG. The LG HomeKit integration has not been good. Probably my least reliable HomeKit integration. So for what it's worth there. Brian says LG has gotten a little better with Apple Home. Still get the occasional no response errors, but it clears itself up now. Oh, interesting. I have not noticed that. Brian, that makes me, it's on right now. So this is the one right here that's LG. So it was always no response. So I don't use it in any HomeKit automations because of that. Sony TV supports HomeKit as well. Thank you, PamaKit. And Edgar's Tech, Sony TV. Yeah, I haven't used any Sonys in many years, so. Brian Lawyer says older LG is much. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to pay attention to that and see if my LG has gotten better also. Let's see. Mike says, I'm still very early in the smart home journey, interested in learning use cases for best practice on automations. When should you use motion sensor versus presence, etc.? Say that 5 times fast. Good question here, Mike. So motion is, until the recent FP2 sensor that Aqara made, the Aqara FP2, I can bring that up here. Just in case you're unfamiliar. So until this product was released, I would say pretty much, so this is Aqara's FP2 presence sensor. So this, in my experience, is the only true presence sensor that supports Apple HomeKit, that works in HomeKit. I've used some presence sensors like the Ecobee and others that are categorized as a presence sensor in HomeKit, but they're not really truly presence sensors. So historically, I would have said motion for fast response times, but occupancy for basically, very minimal movement. So if you're sitting at a desk right here, if I had motion automations based on motion at my desk, my lights would be going off all the time because I'm not moving a lot. And that's when you get this where you have to wave around to get the motion sensor to pick you up. That's motion automations. Occupancy automations, True occupancy automations can detect those micro movements. So you don't have to do that. It knows you're there. So the FP2 has been great for that in my experience. But historically also, true occupancy sensors have always been a little slower to respond. But that said, the new this Aqara FP2 sensor right here is very, very responsive in my experience, and it does well with true occupancy. So this one is kind of the best of both worlds. It's a little pricey, but if you need something to detect you if you're sitting still watching a movie or at your desk, you would probably definitely want something like this. If you just have something like in a hallway where you just want lights to come on or off, or anything else where you just need quick response, for motion or movement, then motion sensors are great. So I pretty much use those everywhere for stuff like that. But motion automations are pretty tricky. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's definitely motion automations or even occupancy is something you kind of have to tweak and perfect over time. At least that's been my experience. Brian says FB2 is great. Love that a car keeps improving it now with sleep monitoring. All right, let's see. I'm trying to get to these. I know we got some more questions here. Glad you're okay, Shane. Thank you. Nick Bean B. Do you know about any upcoming relays that use thread? Something like the T2 from a car. I've been waiting for what feels like ages for something like that. I have not heard of any thread-based relays. Sorry, I don't know. I mean, we just got that one from Aqara. That's a Zigbee-based one, but I have not heard of any that support thread. Do you know if you have to have cellular for home key? Can't find it on the internet. No, you don't. You don't need cellular. Like an Apple Watch with just without cellular, that'll work with home key as well. Do you still recommend the Viz Designer app? So I have not been using Viz Designer lately. Yes, it's great for building those custom automations. I don't have any reason not to recommend it. I just personally haven't been using it since I rebuilt my smart home, just because it takes a lot of time, and I haven't had the time to kind of go in and rebuild and reset up my Viz Designer app. So lately I've just been using the home app on there until I have the time to go in there and customize this. I don't know if any of the members here in the chat, if you use Viz Designer, drop a comment in the chat and let us know how that's going for you. I know some of the channel members over on Discord use it and still use it quite a bit. Again, I just haven't used it in probably the past 2 or 3 months, but up until that point, yeah, I've been using it all the time. Let's see. Question: I have an Aqara motion sensor to control Lutron switches. Lately there has been lag with the responsiveness. It's only with Lutron switches. I moved the sensor to hue bulbs and Eve switches works. Huh. Well, I'm not sure what the question is there. Seems like you got it maybe why. I don't know. Lutron is usually one of the most responsive devices in my HomeKit setup, so I'm not sure why you would be having issues with Lutron switches. I haven't experienced that. My Lutron stuff is rock solid. In fact, I'm looking at putting some more in my home here real soon. Let's see. Sigmund has a question. Is there a more cost-effective and high-performing IR blaster that brings IR devices into HomeKit beyond what SwitchBot offers? Also, are you using your iPhone for the live stream? No, I'm not using my iPhone for the live stream. Curious why you asked that. But there's not really a lot of, let me see, what was the other? There was one other IR. Let's see, IR. It was a Matter IR blaster. See if I can find it. Yeah, this is it here. So the issue with from what I've read, I haven't used any of these. Well, I've used SwitchBot, but I don't really use it for IR stuff because I don't have a lot of IR devices right now. So this is the one I was talking about. Again, HomeKit news and reviews. So this is another one that supports Matter. But from what I've read, and it will tell you in this article too. So this is Nature Remo Nano. It's an IR blaster, but from what I've read, these Matter IR blasters only allow you to bring in 3 IR devices into HomeKit, so there's definitely a limit there. You might want to check out, actually I was doing a Google search and this popped up. It's funny when you search stuff and you find new videos. It's funny for me. This right here, this might be the best way. So this is a video that I did about the Aqara, bringing in Aqara scenes into HomeKit. So it's not truly exposing these IR devices as devices in HomeKit, but you can bring your scenes in there. So what you can do is you can create a scene in the Aqara app, including your IR devices, and then basically export that scene to HomeKit from the Aqara app. So check out that video and see if that might be a good solution. The good thing about that there's not really a limit, or at least I don't know of a limit for those scenes, and you can bring in like all those Aqara scenes into HomeKit, and it really allows you to do some pretty powerful stuff. Basically anything that you can kind of do or set up in the Aqara app, you can do in HomeKit thanks to that. So not exactly what you're looking for, but maybe might be a good alternative if you're kind of looking at those limits. Asked because of the shot on iPhone event last week. Okay. No, I am not shooting this on my iPhone. Although I do use an iPhone usually for my overhead. If you've seen some of the past streams, I don't have that set up right now because I'm kind of limited, man. I was just struggling just to get the camera and stuff set up right now for today. But I do use the iPhone for my overhead shots a lot of time in these live streams. Did the balloons happen? Okay, the balloons. When you make an L with your thumb and your pointer finger, is it an L? Let's see. I'm not seeing the balloons. I don't know what all these are. I thought it was a piece. I thought peace was... All right, it's not doing any of it now. I just look crazy. I see all y'all's comments. There you go. Peace is balloons. 2 is confetti. I gotcha. Oh, 2 thumbs up is fireworks. I'm learning. I was trying to figure out some of these the other day. I guess I should have just Googled it. Chuck, what is up with the ads during the live stream? Yeah, we talked about that, guys. Sorry about the ads, so I will change that. I will make sure that there are no ads in the next stream, at least during the live stream. I'll turn that off completely. Again, I want you guys to have the best experience during these live streams, so that's a new setting that was in YouTube, so I'll make sure those are off for the next one. So. Or just get, again, YouTube Premium, man. People I know it's been worth it for me, so I think people are happy about YouTube Premium. Question, can you please post those router settings on Discord? Yeah, so we actually have a networking channel in the Discord server. So just tag me over there in that channel, in the networking channel, and ask your question again to remind me what it is you're looking for, and I'll be glad to respond. And there's people that are in that Discord, many of you guys that are much smarter than me that will probably chime in too with some other good pointers. So yeah, definitely just do that over in that networking channel on Discord. We would be glad to post whatever I can to help over there. Let's see if we can get to some more questions here. Are there any smart occupancy sensor light switches? I know of the Lutron style dumb occupancy sensors, and also I don't know of any that are light switches built in. I've seen there was a brand that was doing a Kickstarter a while ago that had basically a light switch plate with all kinds of sensors built into it, including motion. I'm not sure about occupancy, but motion, temperature, all that. Excuse me, that was in the Kickstarter phase, and that hasn't come out yet. Again, that supported Apple HomeKit. I don't know of any right now that do, though, especially with occupancies that I can think of. Let's see. All right. Is there... All right. Trying to catch up to the chat with you guys. I know I missed some questions up there. Let's see. I see some questions about maybe the Discord, and yeah, I'm probably missed the original question there. Oh, how do you get to the Discord? Yeah, so the Discord server it's a part of the channel membership. So you can join, but there should be a link in the top of the chat, wherever the chat is, over this side or that side for that. Or there's a join button, should be by the subscribe button somewhere down here on YouTube. And you can use that to join and become a channel member. And there's instructions on joining our member Discord server. Once you're a member, you can do that. So, are you still a fan of the Akara U100 smart lock after using it for a while? I do. Yeah, I like the U100. It's a great lock. For what my only complaint, if really with the U100, is that you can't rekey it, or at least you can't rekey it easily. So that's kind of been my biggest complaint about that. But other than that, it's a great lock with a ton of features for an incredible price. So you really can't beat the U100, all things considered. Your TV chat is next to your TV on that side. Okay, so my left. So the chat, so I can point to the chat over here. I'll forget by next week. Thank you for that, Jeff. All right, guys. We are going to end this so that I can get ready for the member chat over in Discord. So we'll be doing that soon. Again, all you channel members, come hang out over in Discord. I will post also a reminder. Actually, I think I already did on my YouTube community page. So we will be doing that soon. So I'm going to get ready for that. Maybe go grab a snack or a drink, and we'll be looking forward to that soon. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I know we missed last week, so a lot of questions and stuff. If I didn't get to your comment or your question today, I do apologize. I try to get to as many as I can, but we'll be back next week. So I do this every Wednesday. Again, I'll be doing this next Wednesday. Also, you can follow me over on Instagram. Definitely, if you're a channel member, come over to the Discord server. I prioritize that, so I'm in Discord every day. You can mention me there or DM me on Discord, and I will definitely respond that way. And other than that, I will do my best to respond to everybody. And yeah, just enjoyed hanging out, talking with you guys about smart home stuff. We'll be back next week. New video is coming this Sunday, so be on the lookout for that. Turn on notifications if you haven't already. Thank you guys again for hanging out. We'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. All right, God bless.